Everybody, welcome to Storm Talk. Wave 3 News meteorologist Brian Good here, as we're going to discuss the setup here for this week, and of course we'll get into how things are going to play out for us for this weekend. A very significant storm system affect a good chunk of the country, and we'll try to figure out where we play into all that. First off, at the moment, we've got some high-level clouds now streaming in over there, where these are more like mid-level in some areas. But they're streaming in backwards today because we have a opposite flow today with the area of low pressure to our south. So that means mainly areas of Kentucky most at risk for some cloud cover today. The rest of us, including right along the Ohio River, looking good so far. We did have a few sprinkles that were showing up at one point. And I apologize for the noise in the background. They're moving stuff in the next room. It sounds like Grain Central Station right here. Anyway, the flow, though, has been trying to squeeze out a few blips on the radar. I really doubt anything's reaching the ground, though. It's very dry atmosphere overhead. So this backwards motion of cloud cover will continue for a while today. Therefore, Kentucky, again, stands more of an issue of clouds in Indiana. But look at this flow. I mean, this is the same upper low that gave us issues for this past weekend. Feeding this feeder band itself right into Charleston, South Carolina. They're just getting hammered with like a hurricane band, almost, if you will, where it just doesn't move very much, so big flooding issues for them. For us, it's the next front that is going to be arriving, and it already has a slight risk out for severe weather for that one for Wednesday to our west. We're not included in the outlook for Thursday because we will get the weaker version of the way it appears of this front. We'll see how it plays out. Here's Futurecast, shows how it moves in. It should be late Wednesday night. I know this is showing a bit of rain at western counties, but I think it's going to be an overnight and certainly more of a Thursday issue. So Wednesday looks quite warm. Thursday we'll have some showers and thunderstorms. I will say, though, if the front is slower than expected, then Thursday we may have a bit more energy to build up, more warmth, if you will, before it arrives. And we're seeing hints of that from the GFS, mainly in our southern counties. Something we'll monitor. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but it's at least something that's worth watching. All right, it moves out, and then we get our next system, and this is the one that's going to really be blossoming in the plain states, but the amount of the wind fields and certainly the amount of moisture this thing is going to bring into it is what is significant. And they've already issued a rare enhanced risk, 30% for severe weather. You guys probably noticed this. They started doing this yesterday for the Friday time period here for Oklahoma into Arkansas. Very, very rare to see that. Now, we will have the warm front with that extended our area for Saturday. Bad timing there for the races. That's something we'll be watching. And then eventually that system will work its way in. Notice, yeah, it's got snow on the backside of it. That's how very dynamic this system is, and I think that has potential to have a tornado outbreak associated with it, especially for those areas that see the deepest moisture. Let me show you why. Here are the forecast dew points for Friday. Dew points in the 70s. That's oppressive. All right, that's a tremendous amount of moisture, even for April standards. That's a tremendous amount. And again, the warm front is just now starting to reach its legs in our area at this point. So our dew points are going up. But, I mean, this is basically where I think the Storm Prediction Center is certainly concerned, is when you get around 70-plus dew points, you're going to have to outlook something there. And the EHI, or the potential for rotating thunderstorms, is certainly there. And when you got such high moisture in the air, that just tells us that the cloud bases, the thunderstorm bases, can form a lot closer to the ground than typical thunderstorms, if you will. So when you form a base of a thunderstorm that close to the ground level, then if it spins up anything, a funnel, it doesn't have very far to go, and it's on the ground. And so the tornado potential becomes higher. And so that's area to watch. Now for us, we will again have the warm front extending our area. How quickly this pushes north and gets out of here for the races for Saturday morning is still questionable. It really depends on how this all evolves Friday with the severe weather and all the blow-off, rain and thunderstorms. It's just too early to make a call on it. But be aware, there's going to be a lot of changes here in the Saturday morning forecast, I think, with this warm front. And we need to watch the warm front for our area as well, because we're going to have a decent amount of moisture associated with it in our area. And the soundings are even indicating a marginal tornado potential, not a big deal, but there is so much moisture at play that we do need to watch even for our area. Sometimes you can get little quick spin-ups on warm fronts. Our area is notorious for that in some cases. So we'll be watching that. All right, so then that'll roll through at some point Sunday or Monday. Couldn't be a week from today before the cold front portion of that finally pushes in. Then we hit into Derby week. Early thinking on this is we'll have a warm front with some showers, maybe some thunderstorms for the Great Steamboat Race. And then for the parade, we may be dealing with the core of that system at that time. Again, this will likely change, but this is an early snapshot. What's interesting, though, is that system looks strong enough that it may try to pull down some cool air just in time for Oaks. Just how cool? I got 60s in there for now. We'll watch it. The good news on that end, if you are going to Derby, is that we should at that point be pulling out of that and beginning to warm up. But it would be dry, but cool. It's still early. We'll see how it plays out. We got a lot to monitor between now and then.